You know, from the second you wake up to the moment you fall asleep, computers are just there. They're so woven into the fabric of our lives that most of the time we don't even see them. But here's the thing. This constant presence is a real double-edged sword. So let's dive in and really unpack the good, the bad, and, well, the unavoidable reality of our digital world.
So let me just ask you this straight up. How many computers did you use today? Seriously, take a second and think about it. 1, 2, maybe 3 if you're counting your phone and your laptop? Well, I'm willing to bet the real number is way, way higher than you think.
Because we're not just talking about the obvious stuff, right? The laptop on your desk or the smartphone in your hand. We have to think bigger and a whole lot smaller. We're talking about the massive, powerful servers that are streaming this to you right now. And we're talking about the tiny, hidden microcontrollers that run pretty much everything in a modern car, from the engine to the airbags. Yeah, they're literally everywhere.
And honestly, this complete transformation of our world has been incredible. It's brought us these advantages that would have sounded like pure science fiction just a couple of generations ago.
It all kind of boils down to these 3 things, these 3 pillars: speed, accuracy, and connectivity. I mean, the ability to crunch huge amounts of data way faster and more accurately than any human ever could, and to connect with anyone anywhere on the planet, that has completely changed the game for how we live and work. Now check this out, because this is where you can really see the powerful economic argument. Environmentally, using less paper means fewer trees get cut down. Simple as that. For labor, you have robots that can do the boring, repetitive stuff 24/7 without getting tired, and the cost of sending an email versus mailing a letter? It's not even a contest. This level of efficiency is what drives so much of our modern economy.
And the ripple effects go way beyond just money. Computers let a small business operate on a global scale. They give us access to, well, pretty much the sum of all human knowledge right at our fingertips. We can learn about anything we want from our own homes. And they even take on the really dangerous jobs, keeping people out of harm's way.
And this is a perfect example of just how life-changing this can be. In medicine, robotic surgery isn't some gimmick. Its precision leads to genuinely better results for patients. We're talking less risk during the operation, a faster recovery, and even smaller scars. This is technology that directly saves and improves lives. It's incredible.
But there's always a catch, isn't there? Progress always comes with a price tag. We've seen the amazing upside, so what's the downside? What's the real cost of all this digital progress?
And that brings us to the other side of that digital coin, the hidden costs that sneak in when we rely so heavily on all this technology.
This is where that whole double-edged sword thing really gets real. For every amazing promise, there's a potential peril. That same automation that boosts efficiency, it can also lead to job losses. And that global network that connects all of us, it also opens us up to huge privacy risks, like identity theft and all sorts of cybercrime.
And on a more personal level, the challenges are just as tough. A lot of us are dealing with information overload, you know? There's just so much data flying at us all the time, it's hard to focus. And all this screen time can lead to a real lack of deep, meaningful connection with other people, because we're interacting through a screen instead of face-to-face.
And then there's the actual brain chemistry of it all. Social media is literally designed to give us these little hits of positive reinforcement. Every like, every share, it triggers a little release of dopamine in your brain. That's the same chemical that's involved in every other kind of addiction. It creates this powerful loop that can be incredibly hard to break out of.
So, beyond the impact on society and our minds, there's a direct, physical price we pay for our digital lives, especially for anyone who spends hours and hours every day sitting at a desk. And this is where this science called ergonomics comes into play. It's basically the study of how to design our workspaces, our chairs, our desks, our keyboards, to fit our bodies, instead of forcing our bodies to fit the equipment. The whole goal is just to make us more comfortable and, healthier. Because if you don't have good ergonomics, the simple act of using a computer for hours on end can lead to some very real, very painful health problems. It's something a lot of us feel but maybe don't have a name for.
Okay, so 2 of the biggest culprits here are repetitive strain injury, or RSI, which is basically pain from doing the same motion over and over again. And then there's carpal tunnel syndrome, which is a specific type of RSI where a nerve in your wrist gets pinched, causing numbness and pain in your hand. And that comes directly from all those unnatural movements we make when we're typing all day.
So, the picture we're painting is pretty complex, right? This sword is incredibly powerful, but it definitely cuts both ways. The real question is, how do we handle it responsibly? How do we get all the amazing benefits while minimizing all the harm?
Well, the good news is, a lot of the solutions are actually in our own hands.
We can actively work on our ergonomics, get a better keyboard, a better mouse, to protect our bodies. We can protect our digital lives by using strong passwords and security measures. And maybe the most important thing of all, we have to consciously balance our screen time. We have to make it a priority to build and maintain those real-world human connections.
At the end of the day, computers have given us the world. They've connected us to information and to each other in ways we never thought possible. The tool itself isn't good or bad. So the real question, the one we all have to answer for ourselves, is this: how will you choose to live in this new world that technology has created?